G'day people, I'm back on the topic of comfortable paths, and I've put that ramp in at the start to show that some bikes can easily handle steep drop-offs or high angles of attack. But it's not just fit, confident, able-bodied blokes on mountain bikes who are using our shared paths. There's plenty of people with mobility issues getting around on all sorts of electrically driven devices. And of course there's now a wide range of bikes such as tricycle, cargo bikes, bikes towing trailers with kids in them, recumbents and so on. When we build new paths, we have to make sure the entire length of the path is safe and comfortable for all types of users. That means building ramps that meet Australian Roads guidelines. Now look at this bloke here in his electric wheelchair. He's taken to the road because the quality of this footpath is so bad. Now, this is not a shared path, this is a footpath. But I'm just making the point that we shouldn't be forcing people with disabilities and electric wheelchairs onto the road because we've built such miserably uncomfortable paths around the place. So yeah, just going back to this whole issue of this new path that's being built heading south towards Lillypilly, and the fact that where the path meets the road, you essentially crash into a culvert rather than having a nice smooth ramp that takes you from the path to the road and then from the road to the path again. And you can see in all these instances, all these oldies on their electric thingies out on the road. Now, contrast that with a new section of path that was built last year by the state government when they built that new bridge in the background. Now, just look at that ramp. It's beautiful. And look at how wide it is. Look at how wide the crossing is there. You could have bikes going in either directions across this bit of road here. Whereas council has built something similar to this, but left an old, very narrow road crossing in place, with pretty crummy ramps at either end. Again, you're kind of almost crashing into a culvert when you go from the path to the road. Whereas when I think the RMS did this project, look, they've even put in a continuous path across here. It's completely smooth and level to ride across. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, we're going to do a bit of compare and contrast here in a sec, but look, on the other side of the bridge, here's another one, raised crossing all the way across, so it's dead smooth for anyone wanting to cross the road here, including people with walking sticks and wheelchairs and all the rest of it. Here's another section. Look at this. Look how nicely it flows, and look how the bike doesn't go crashing across any culverts there when we go from the road onto the path along those ramps. This was all built by the state government, not by the local council. Don't know what concreter they brought in to do this work, but whether it's the same one the council uses, I don't know. But whoever did this job did a pretty nice piece of work here, I've got to say. So, yes, now we'll do the compare and contrast. Now, all of this bit of path here you're looking at was built by the state government. It's nice and wide, and yeah, it's fairly steep. I've got to stand up to pump up this section of path, but in a sec, it's going to finish because, yeah, see the difference in the width there between the council path up above and the state government path down below. And for some reason, this section of path was out of scope. Now, council could have come along and gone, oh, look, we'll just rebuild the section of path so that it's the same standard all the way through in terms of width and comfort and usability and all the rest of it. But no, they just decided to leave it as it is, including the absolutely horrible ramps there. Whereas, these bits that have been built by the state government, we're back on it now, much, much smoother, much more comfortable. So it's just incredible. You can ride around the place and, you go from good infrastructure to bad infrastructure, just like that. So this is an example of what the council did. You can see there's like a culvert there. And I don't know why well, maybe they're worried about drainage down this particular road, but as you can see, well, there's actually no gutters or drains there. But for some reason, they put a culvert essentially across where you ride, and it's incredibly uncomfortable. Here you can see it's dead flat on this side, but quite a steep ramp and culvert on the other side. So why have two different approaches on different sides of the road? Comfortable on one side, uncomfortable as heck on the other. Well, at least they've masked off that pole there with a bit of orange stuff, so you don't go crashing into that light pole, hopefully, which they've put in the middle of the path. Now, what solutions could they put in? Well, here outside Woolies, they've put a drain grate here for drainage. So if drainage is the issue, if that's why you've got to put like a deep culvert in, why not replace it with something like this? Here's another one about 10 meters away where, for this driveway or whatever it is, They got good drainage there as well. But let's go over to the country club, and this has got a very large car park and a big entry and exit onto this 4-lane road here. But I tested riding across that several times in and out, and it's really smooth. So I don't understand why at the country club they can put in beautifully smooth crossings, but nowhere else, or except here up at this new observatory. Look at that, beautiful and smooth. And this is quite new. This was opened just a few months ago. So clearly, they're capable of building comfortable ramps where there's a nice transition from the road to the path, because it's been done in quite a few places. The question is, why can't it be done everywhere? Why is it not the standard? Why do they build the most recent piece of infrastructure with an absolutely terrible culvert, essentially, which is just terribly uncomfortable? And again, you've got to think of all the other types of path users, not just people on mountain bikes. Like I said, the recumbents, the cargo bikes, the wheelchairs, the gophers, people who just have difficulty walking. Like, they can walk, but they use a wheelie walker or a cane. You don't want to be dumping them into a culvert where they could possibly, trip and fall. So, I think we'll finish maybe with this bloke in his electric wheelchair. And I saw him going across some of these driveways, and it looked so uncomfortable. He just peeled off to the left and went out on the road. And, like I said, this is just an absolute travesty, I think, that, paths have been built that are so uncomfortable. This is what people are doing. That's terrible. That just should not happen. But thankfully, there's a couple of documents out there that can be used to help build nice, comfortable shared paths, or cycle paths. Here they are. And I just hope they get used in the future for all works from now on.